Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's unseen video. We're going to get straight into it. We're going to go into the Wyatt Sicks folder. Here, Joe Gacy on Instagram posting this, talking about Columbus, which obviously got people speculating, and I totally understand how that connection was made, what with Alexa being born in Columbus, Ohio. But this, of course, is Columbus in Alabama, and that is where a live event is going to be taking place this weekend. And so, Fiendish Howdy, thank you. But the live events, the super shows, have had the Wyatt Sicks used as a way of promoting them. So I feel like Joe Gacy is basically saying, see you this weekend. See you at this show. We will be here. So that's what I think he's communicating. I don't think it's anything Alexa related. So Isaac, shout out to you, my friend. Talking of Alexa, obviously she posted a couple of things recently. We looked at a few of them yesterday. Well, this has gone up here. So My Chemical Romance, I'm Not Okay. And she has posted this of Lily being destroyed 3 years ago. And honestly, I saw a few people talking about this. I think maybe even like USA Network or someone talking about how it had been 3 years since this had happened. So again, it might not be popular, but I don't think this is anything other than her remembering back on an anniversary of Lily being destroyed, right? I don't think this is a tease that she's on the way back or anything like that. I think it's just her remembering 3 years ago, Lily getting destroyed, My Chemical Romance, I'm Not Okay. That's it. I don't think it's anything more than that personally. So that's a house show. That, I think, is just an anniversary. We know that the Wyatt Sicks have been used to promote some shows that are coming up. And I was one of the people that was convinced that the Lily doll behind Liv and Dom, wasn't convinced it was a Lily doll. Alexa has dropped a photo that it's been 3 years since Lily was torn up. Could it be that the old torn up Lily doll was in the background instead of an actual Lily doll? So Jay Villa, shout out to you. I mean, sure, it could be. I mean, I'm still torn as to whether it was a Lily doll or not. The first image I saw made me think no. The second image that I saw made me think a little bit more that it could be. But I'm still 50-50 on it. So, could have been the torn up one, could have been like a proper one, could have been absolutely nothing at all. We know that the news kind of came out yesterday, or there's a big rumor that she's not expected to return now until 2025. I don't really have a reason to not believe that at the moment. Of course, I'm keeping my eyes peeled. You know, the Plutos that pop up on SmackDown are obviously very interesting. There is a theory that they keep popping up behind women's tag teams. So that, to me, would definitely be something that points in the direction of Alexa. Obviously, people think that that was a Lily doll that was shown in the background on Raw. It absolutely could be. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying that I don't know, right? I'm not prepared to just go along and say, yes, it definitely was and all that. We know the Wyatt Sicks have been sending out messages talking about how people see the things they want to see. So I really would urge that people keep open minds on this stuff, because we're just following the news, really. We're just following the stream. And at the moment, the biggest bit of news we've had says that Alexa won't return until 2025. That's the biggest rumor that's out there at the moment. So could have been, might not have been. We're going to have to wait and see. Obviously, we don't have to wait too long, because tomorrow, or maybe later today at the time of you watching this, is SmackDown. So it'll be very interesting if we get any more Pluto symbols. Then we got this, just to wrap up this folder. So special effects artist Jason Baker comments on the incredible Wyatt Sicks debut, right? So if we whoosh over, here I've got the text, the interview. So Wrestle Talk posting this. It came out of the Metro, right? An interview with the Metro. So if you know anything about wrestling, you know that Gorilla Position is the control center. It's the brain. It's the heart of the show. So for Triple H to have everyone leave, have us set up and trust everyone to do the job in one take, do it live, no mistakes, is a testament to how much faith he has in not only the talent, but the crew and the people that work for him. We all know that he has faith in us, so by proxy, everyone wants to do the best job they can humanly possible, because having a boss that actually cares about you, you want to return that tenfold. We had the whole thing set up in like 15 minutes. So many people, every department was just running and making it happen. There was no fighting, there was no arguing, there was no nothing. Everyone just communicating, making sure it's right. Paul came in earlier that day and was like, this is what we should do. And everyone was like, yes, sir, we're gonna do it. The fraction of error, when you step back and think about it, it's insane. To do a long tracking shot. So if you remember, we kind of did that one shot, didn't we? We saw the door, we saw Nikki, then we went to the back, then we saw Rowan, then we went into Gorilla, then we went out of Gorilla and we saw Chad, we saw Howdy, then we followed Howdy. It was all done in one shot. And so what they're saying is, if you think about it, so many variables, so many people, to do it live in one take, one and done, is just insane. There was bodies on the floor, there was stuff flipped over, there's things the talent could have tripped over, there's things the camera guy could have bumped into. Again, I couldn't be more proud of getting to be this tiny little cog in a big giant wheel, everybody coming together and doing all of it. So, yeah, I mean, amazing. So this is the bit people have kind of took out of it. We had the whole thing set up in 15 minutes. So that was the kind of big takeaway, if you will. But that's a little interview from Jason Baker with the Metro. So that was the Wyatt Sicks folder. Let's go over to, top story. Yes, and this is the top story. Triple H announcing that the biggest event of the summer is going to be bigger than ever before. Summerslam 2025 is going to be 2 nights, which is really exciting. I think they'd already announced that the 2026 one was going to be 2 nights, and there was a lot of us expecting 2025 to go 2 nights. I'm just really pleased that that is now confirmed, because let's go, man. Let's go. I'm really excited about this. Wrestle Night, shout out to you. I'm actually not going to play the audio because it's just constantly a Cardi B track, but this is Bianca. She gets a call from Cardi B, and look at this. It's Bianca and Cardi B having a conversation. Cardi B is like, I've got some news. Like, SummerSlam's going to be 2 nights. MetLife. Yeah, I'm listening, says Bianca. So, like, they're all really excited. Hell yes. The biggest event of the summer. SummerSlam just got bigger. There's a nice bit in a bit where Bianca's like, how do you get all the scoops before me? And she's like, girl, you know I'm connected. August 2nd and 3rd, 2025. We get to see the logo as well. I haven't really spoke about that, but yeah. So does that mean that Cardi's going to be there? That would be really good if she was. New Jersey. But yeah, there we go. The SummerSlam logo for next year revealed. Looks good. Looks good. So we're going to New Jersey for 2 nights. Right, let's go down. We got a few bits here. WrestleOps reporting that the first Raw on Netflix is going to be January 6th, 2025, and it's going to take place in the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles. So there we go. Come in January 2025. At the moment, that is going to be the first show and where it's taking place. That courtesy of WrestleVotes Radio. So CM Chunk, thank you. Right, WWE is making changes to NXT. Let's have a look at this. Really interesting stuff, this, right? Again, coming from WrestleVotes Radio. So the yellow aspect of NXT looks to be changing. That is the internal speculation. It is more than possible that when they debut on Tuesday on the CW, the logo will remain the same, but the presentation and the feel may be a bit different. So WrestleVotes is like, yep. Going back to the opening of the show, we discussed how the new presentation will evolve, and I think NXT is in line for that next change. The video package on Tuesday was kind of recapping the time that NXT spent on USA Network as it moves to CW. I think it's putting a bow on that era, and we've seen NXT go from black and gold to 2.0 to the new black and gold yet again. And I think now the next era on CW will be a whole different look. I think there will be slightly different NXT logo, and I think you will see the removal of yellow from that moving forwards and a more straightforward sort of presentation. Now, this is the big takeaway. At least I thought. Joey Votes said, everything we've heard internally reminds some people of the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, we're talking black, silver, white, clean, metallic almost. So we'll see if that's where they go. So that is a bit of news regarding NXT. Apparently yellow, and this is all going. It's going to be a lot cleaner. It's going to be more metallic. Probably like that SummerSlam logo that we just looked at, you know? So obviously something to keep our eyes peeled for on Tuesday. So James Grant, thank you. Zachary, so is this why Ricochet never got a push? I don't think so. I actually read the article, and basically Vince told Ricochet that he was being too spectacular. So I think it was more referring to just one moment. So he did a match where he was getting beaten up by Retribution. And before that, he said, I'd been getting beaten up by Hurt Business. But he tries to explain this one moment in the match. He said, I had one moment where I did like this kind of flip thing. And when I went to the back, like Vince came up to him and went, that moment was too spectacular, right? But not in like a good way. Vince said not even John Cena could do that. And Ricochet was thinking to himself, yeah, no, you're totally right. He couldn't do that. Like, kind of, this is what makes me special, you know? I did wonder, though, if what Vince meant was you're meant to be getting beaten up, and you got beaten up so much, you shouldn't have been able to have done that move. Like, not even Super Cena could have come back from that kind of beatdown. I wonder if he didn't mean the move. I wonder if he meant the comeback. Not even Cena could do that. I think Ricochet took it as the move, and it might have been the move that Vince was talking about, but I wonder if he was talking about the comeback. Like, not even Cena could do that. Either way, apparently Ricochet thought to himself, yeah, you're right, Cena couldn't. But Ricochet said, I've got this problem, this issue where if I kind of disagree or like air my opinion, I'm just going to keep going. I can't let it go. And what am I going to do? Get into a big argument with the boss? So I just went, okay, and walked away. So it's a really interesting story. Really interesting story. I think it was an interview he did on Talk Is Jericho. So I don't think this is why like his career went the way it went. It's more one particular moment. But I don't know, it gives us a glimpse maybe into their relationship. Right. Mark, shout out to you. So the Viking Raiders are now both ready to return, and they will likely return under the War Raiders name. So obviously we go back to that little thing on Monday with the circle and the symbols. Some people thought it was the Lucha Bros. Some people thought it was the Viking Raiders. I was leaning Viking Raiders because we'd had a report that the Lucha Bros are still under contract with AEW. We do think they have now said goodbye, but I don't think WWE promotes someone that is not signed yet because there's still so many things that could go wrong. I think you want them signed, you want the agreements in place, and then you start getting the graphics sorted. So yeah, that's why I didn't think it was them. I thought it was these guys. This obviously just kind of cements that because it looks like they're coming back under the War Raiders name as well, again, according to WrestleVotes Radio. CM Punk doesn't think that Raw is going to change much with the move to Netflix in terms of explicit or edgy content. So I tell you what, if we go like this and we'll whoosh it in, right? So CM Punk doesn't think it's going to change much. I don't think you're going to see much difference than what it is now. I think we're pushing boundaries a little bit here and there. I just kind of want to temper people's expectations, because I think there's a section of the fan base that's like, oh, they're going to go to Netflix, it's going to be full frontal and swearing. That's absolutely not the case. I think we've learned from the Attitude Era, you can only do that for so long before you try to outdo yourself every week, and then it just becomes bad television. I think every once and again you can push the envelope. I think what you're going to see in difference of the product to what it is now, I think we're going to I think there's still going to be commercials. I'm not 100% sure about that, but we might be able to fudge it so that it's not during matches. So you're going to see maybe some play with the format, but I'm not 100% on that. That's interesting, isn't it? I'd love it if it didn't interrupt matches. I suppose the thing is, though, that if you get into a match, the hope is that you will want to come back, so you'll want to see the result, you know? Whereas if a match hasn't even started yet, you might not be into it. So that's kind of why I always thought they did it on purpose during the matches. But, you know, he's kind of insinuating that that may change when we go to Netflix. Content-wise, I don't think you're going to see, as much as Rhea Ripley wants to come out there and talk like an Aussie and drop a C word here and there, I don't think you're going to see that. So this was an interview that Punk did with 1035 Kiss FM. And to be honest, again, it's kind of in line with what we're expecting. Triple H came out with a quote that really resonated with me. He said, I would much rather make a movie where there is one gunshot at the end and it means everything. And everyone's talking about it and it, like, you know, the whole film leads up to it. I would rather do that than a movie where there's thousands of gunshots all throughout it. And if you apply that to wrestling, he's saying, I'd rather have like a swear word where it matters. I would rather have blood where it matters. Do it just here and there, rather than it being constant all throughout the show and all that kind of stuff, because then it just does not matter. It gets overexposed and we get desensitized to it and it doesn't have any impact anymore. So I completely agree with everything Punk said there. I think that that is the right way forward as well. Dave, shout out to you. Yeah, so we've had some information here about tickets. So Elite Rocker saying ringside row 1 tickets are 50,000 for both nights. Rows 2 and 3 cost 30,000 for both nights. So that's 25 grand each night. And 30,000, so 15 grand each night. So that's how much the tickets are. There's been a lot of people that have kind of come back going, oh my God, that's insane, blah, blah, blah. But here's Andrew, who said, I'd like to add a little bit more for those saying who is going to pay that much. My on-location representative has told me that all of the row 1 priced at 50,000 have sold out. And the 35,000 non-hard cam row 1, they've sold out as well. So row 1, it's sold. They've sold them. They know, I mean, they might be pushing it. And I'm certainly, you know, no doubt that they are pushing it as far as they think they can push it at the moment, right? But I don't think it's a ludicrous number because, I mean, it's people with money. That's what it comes down to. There's a lot of football players out there. There's a lot of, like, you know, millionaires, billionaires, CEOs that have kids that might want to come along. This is ludicrous for us. It's you know, it's unfathomable for us. Like, it's unachievable for us, but it is very achievable out there for your, you know, Taylor Swifts, for your NBA stars, your American football players that have families and have kids that may want to go. This is a drop in the bucket for them. This is nothing. This is chump change. So I look at it and I'm like, I don't mind these prices, to be honest. I don't mind them. Because I think that, like, row 1 and all of that kind of, it would be lovely if, like, the working man could afford that. But I think this is, you know, WrestleMania. It's front row. You kind of know it's going to be a crazy price. Like, I would have guessed it would have been about 10,000 a night. 10,000 for a ticket, that would have been 20,000. So 50,000 is a lot. But, you know, I already thought it would be about 20,000. So 50,000. What bothers me more is the prices for house shows. And what bothers me more is the prices for, like, B-show pay-per-views when you don't want front row. You just want to be in the room, you know, like the Scottish ticket prices for Clash at the Castle. Like, they bothered me much more than the front row for WrestleMania. So, yeah, thought you'd find it interesting. I think we all knew front row WrestleMania would be expensive, though. So we've done that, we've done that. I think we've only got fun and other. Dave, shout out to you. Yeah, so apparently on the documentary, if you put on the captions, when Iron Sheik is talking in, I believe, Iranian, it comes up speaks in made-up language, when I believe it's Iranian that he was speaking, which, in all fairness, is a made-up language, just like all languages. I mean, they all got made up, didn't they? So some people might think this is offensive, but technically it's true, because all languages are made up, so speaks in made-up language. Dave, again, tagging me in this from Stone Cold. Here's Stone Cold outside. And basically where he is, it is so windy, he tries to have a drink, look, and look at this. He tries to drink a beer, and little to none of it is going in his mouth. It's a little bit of spray going on his face and on his hat, but very little is going in his mouth. It's all just going over to the side. Look at that. He throws the can as well, and then Karma gets him. Karma gets him because he throws the can at the end. Look, that's littering. Boom! Karma! I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. Don't litter, kids. Don't. Stone Cold is such a bad example. Look, boom, boom, and you can see that. And he laughs. And then Mother Nature gets him. Instant karma. Love it. Dave again. Look at this. So these are every single WrestleMania ticket stub ever, going back to 1985, currently on sale for $75,000. No way. Ridiculous price, but very cool collection. Imagine that in a frame on your wall. Amazing. Thing is, though, you weren't actually there. So people will be like, oh my God, have you gone to those? You'd be like, no, I just bought the tickets. So, I don't know. That one's signed by Hogan, which you can see. But what struck me is just how dull the tickets are, with the exception of WrestleMania 2000. All the rest are just like normal tickets for any show. You know, you could be going and seeing Taylor Swift or Oasis or anything. They're just really generic, really dull. Apart from that one. What I would say, though, the one that jumped out to me was that, because that is a ticket for WrestleMania 36. It's even got 2020 printed on it, right? Because obviously WrestleMania 36 pandemic, no one was allowed to go. Like, we ended up doing it inside the Performance Center. So the fact that they've got a ticket for a show where there was no audience is really cool. That's the one that I thought was probably the coolest. Then maybe that one, WrestleMania 1. Then WrestleMania 3. Then probably 17. And then maybe that one. I mean, that looks the best. But, like, yeah, that and that. But, yeah, I was just shocked at how plain they were. So, Sportskida saying that John Cena is going to be making an appearance on the 36th season premiere of The Simpsons. So apparently that's John Cena. I mean, it sort of looks like him, but sort of doesn't. So there we go. He probably needed to be in like a bright shirt, didn't he? He needed like a bright green shirt and his hat and all of that stuff. But yeah, it's going to be John Cena on the season premiere. Isamar, thank you, my friend. So here there is this sign that someone has made of Ethan Page. It's very clever. So they've managed to get this sign, and they've got it moving with a bit of string where he's doing like a bicep curl. So it's very good. Very, very good. Very good. Some of the signs these days are so impressive. So, love that. And yeah, check this out. This is Tiffany recording for 2K25.
You think you're better than me? As if. Check your watch. It's Tiffy time.
Just let me win.
Stop being gross and just let me win.
Be tacky.
I'm totally perfect and you're totally tacky. You're not on my level, not even close. I'm prettier than you. I'm stronger than you. Wait, did I say prettier? You think you're better than me?
Could you hear, actually, the voice telling her what's... I don't know if that's someone that's feeding her the lines or if it's... I'm not sure, but you can hear someone, like, saying something and then she repeats it.
Tiffy time.
Just let me win.
Stop being gross and just let me win.
Yeah, that bit. Amazing. So that was the lines being recorded for 2K25. Then we'll just have a look at... other. So yeah, apparently this has been explained again as a coincidence, but apparently this was earlier. So interesting flight today, says Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, bumping into Shane. Is there something going on here? Don't know. Genuinely don't know. What I would say is that Shane comes out of the docuseries really well, I thought. Felt really sorry for him. You know, like, he just wanted to get, like, respect off his dad. And, you know, he kind of dreamed of taking over the company and it's not gone that way. And he wanted to buy UFC and you hear the reasons why Vince didn't want to do that. And, yeah, it just comes across as, like, a nice guy and you feel sorry for him. So I think if he did go to AEW, it would be a really good pickup for them. How they would use him, I mean, clearly not an in-ring talent. What would he bring to the table? I'm not sure. A lot of experience, and he's certainly been in a lot of meetings and a lot of creative meetings, and he'll have a good knowledge. I think he'd be someone that would be a good advisor, where he could come in, have a look around, and give some advice. You don't have to take that advice, but I think he'd be good in that role. So, WrestleBuzz, thank you. And then, yeah, this I like to give balance. Like, so we've spoke a lot about Nikki's side, and there's not really any way that you can defend Artem, because of course we know that Nikki did suffer injuries in their kind of argument, right? But Artem has come out and addressed the charges and the case being dropped. So apparently this case has been dropped. He says, I'm incredibly relieved and grateful that the domestic violence charges against me have been dropped. This has been an extremely difficult time for me. I am thankful that the truth has prevailed. I believe it was his lawyer that said that he was self-defense, defending himself, and also trying to defend his child. I don't believe, and, you know, I could be wrong, but right now I don't believe Nikki would do anything to harm the child. But Artem is saying that he was protecting himself and he was protecting the child. I don't know the truth here, of course. Only they know the truth. But we do know that shoes were thrown, so I do believe that she did throw shoes, but we just don't know. We weren't there. But I do want to just present both sides. And it's just worth noting that the case has been dropped as well. So hopefully they can just both move on, to be honest. Because it seems like, you know, clearly a very unhealthy relationship. So that divorce should still be going through. And hopefully they can all move on to better things. That was it. That was Unseen. Hope you enjoyed it, my friends. Thanks a lot for joining me. Thank you for all the support that you've shown the channel this week. Certainly with that Vince McMahon docu-series review that nearly broke me. We will be back, of course, later tomorrow, whenever you're watching this, for SmackDown. Should be a good show. Looking forward to that stream. And I will see you around. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.